Hey y'all, Brandy the Disconnected here, running point on yet another episode of FEM Talk this week. So this week we're going to be covering the wonderful trip to Kenya by our famous and wonderful ladies of Women Empowerment Next. So we're going to be talking about that trip, and we're also going to be talking about a few things currently going on around this here nation of ours. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my sister queens, Miss Mimi and Shema. All right.
Hello,
So how's everybody feeling this week? How's it going?
Going good, right?
It's going pretty good.
Going
All right.
We were in the
Closing
same.
in on a very important date for Miss Mimi. I'm excited.
Say it again.
I said we're closing in on a very important date for Miss Mimi. I'm excited.
That's
Yeah.
right.
We're gonna share that news when it's close.
Come close.
It's close.
It's almost countdown
It's
time.
almost there. It's almost there. The countdown has started.
It's already started.
We're close to single digits. Put it that way. We are close to single digits. Woo!
Most definitely. So guys, I know we had a topic we wanted to touch on because we see some rather disappointing stuff going on as far as these landlords and things. So we've been seeing a lot of apartment building fires, single family home fires from shoddy just maintenance and repairs and remodifications being done to these homes and things.
Mhm.
And we have some opinions about that, correct?
Yes. I have a strong opinion with it. I was born and raised in a Michelana housing co-op in New York. And the fire they just had in New York was another, it was city-owned, housing for people. And what bothers me is that the reason that they even had the fire, it started from a heater. So that meant that the people in the housing development didn't have the right heat.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, when are we just going to be? I mean, these people, and they get a lot of money to have those housing complexes, especially in these inner cities.
Right.
Most of them were bought and paid for through some kind of federal government program.
That's right.
So to not have the right heat, so that people have to go now and use heaters, and to have caused such a major fire that killed many people. Still, there's people still in the hospital over that. It just, to me, is like it's unfathomable. There's a right that people have to the basic things of life: heat, hot water, somewhere warm to be at. And to think that they don't have that, and now their lives are gone because of that. I mean, enough is enough. Enough is enough.
And it just opened up a big can of worms. Not only are you providing them heat, but because you didn't provide them heat and they had to use heaters. Now, granted, everybody does not like the same level of heat.
That's right.
So using a heater is not necessarily a bad thing. And you cannot guarantee that there will not be any kind of mishap with one.
That's right.
Whether the wire gets hot and melts and then sets itself on fire, or it tips over if you have a certain kind.
That's right.
But even at the point where that happens, now there's a fire, and all of those other building inspection codes that were ignored start to play.
Come on.
No closing of the doors. The doors don't automatically close.
Which they
Whether
were
it's the one in your place, right, or the ones on each floor. Mind you, I live in a co-op. I live in an old co-op. So we just had our inspections done. That's one of the things that they are adamant about. Every door should have a closer on it. Because if there is a fire, I'm not thinking of closing the door. Nobody is. They're thinking of getting out.
Most of the people in that, and in New York,
people in those buildings,
millions of people. If you look at all these developments across this country, and then the thing about that, when you talk about the door didn't close, you have a requirement,
right?
Whereas if you're supposed to have fire drills, number one, so everybody's supposed to know what to do. Most of the people that passed away for smoke inhalation. They were burned in the fire.
Right.
They were killed because the smoke overtook them. That's
We definitely need to have a deeper discussion about this because I've never lived in this type of housing, so I don't know how it works. But it sounds like several steps were skipped and things were looked over in order to save a buck, and it cost lives.
Money.
So before we bring in our ladies, I want to let everybody know, if you're not aware, that USPS is delivering free COVID tests up to 4 per resident. This is actually the link to go ahead and get yours sent to you free of charge. USPS will be delivering them to mailboxes towards the end of the month into February. So if you're unaware of that, definitely take note of this link. Check it out. I've already ordered mine and my husband's, and it's a good resource, and check it out.
Go on today. We've done it for the family.
Yeah.
Did it for my family. Go on and get your test kits.
Yes. So let's bring on the ladies of We Next. First to the crew will be Miss Aminata. Welcome.
Hi, Ami.
And we have Rhonda Curry in the house.
Hi, ladies.
Hello, Miss Rhonda.
And Latrilla Nolan.
Hi,
Latrilla. Long time no see with Latrilla.
I know, right?
So, ladies, y'all recently all got back from a trip to Kenya, and we want to know all about it. So, first thing I want to know is, how did this all come about? What led to this venture here?
Well, okay. We all share one thing in common, even Melissa and our missing show partner, Tracy Randolph. We all share a mentor who has created this platform and this program that has so many arms. And We Next is one of the arms. And it was a calling for her to start a program for young adult women. And they started around the 1920, and then it started 21, 25. We extended it a little further in age for our mentees in Africa. Still under 30, but still young adult women. And it's just started out as a mentoring program and teaching them about entrepreneurship and economic stability and just, making a change and being a change in the world. And then we started out 1 year. We all applied and agreed to be mentors to 10 women in the U.S. and 10 women in the Maasai tribe in Kenya. And COVID hit. And once COVID hit, I think the biggest concern for the visionary, Ms. Deidre Anderson, Dr. D, was to not lose the momentum that we've created with these women here and the women there. So she extended the program and really turned it into an opportunity to create a venture for them. And actually the women came up with the idea of opening a business and opening the Agrivet, which is a store that supplies antibiotics and medicine and certain kinds of food and feed for animals. And of course, farmers and people who own large animals, cattle, farms, things like that.
Wow.
So that's where it started and then where it grew.
Wow. I think, to me and being a part of Women Empowered, to me, this is just one of the amazing things that I've seen Dr. D and Women Empowered do. I know for me, one of the questions I have, which I'm going to give this question to Ami, because I know you're native of Africa. What number one attracted you to this, but what really led you to go back to your country for this kind of initiative?
So for me, I am going to say, for me, the grounding is an extension of my ministry and my service to God. Yes. I have mentored with my work because I work for the city of Philadelphia. So I mentored through my work for about 10 years now. And so when this opportunity extended itself, when Dr. D started talking about the next generation of women empowered, it just made sense. It seemed like, moving me more into that space where I keep talking about not just being a citizen where I'm at, but also the opportunity to be a citizen, a global citizen, and, help empower and shape the leadership of our future, and to be able to do it on the continent on which I was born. Now, I know a lot of my family keeps saying, well, why do you keep going back to Kenya? Kenya is where we started. It doesn't mean that there's not a vision for more. So Kenya, our connections are lifelong now in Kenya, but I'm excited about what's to come. This next generation isn't going to stop in Kenya.
You're excited about what's next, right?
What's next? Yes.
I love that. I love it.
So for me, I tell people all the time, it's just an extension of my service to God.
Yeah.
As long as I have breath, and that's just one of the ways I tithe. It's with my time.
Yes, I love it.
I love that you just said that, because a lot of people hear tithes and they automatically associate it with money. Mm-hmm. You can tithe your time, your energy, your knowledge, your guidance.
Yeah. Give what you have.
Yeah, and I love that. And I know both Latrilla and Rhonda, y'all are both ministry leaders. What, Latrilla and then Rhonda, Latrilla, what does that mean when you just participating on this kind of a trip with an arm of ministry as one of your passions?
Well, I mean, with it being an arm of ministry, I just really see it opening, being a way of opening doors to, just through the exposure of what we next. And Dr. Deidre Anderson has given me that I can take into my ministry, where we can expand and go deeper into missions, and also look at some of those things about how to go and help to be a change agent in impoverished areas. It was life-changing, and yes, so as far as ministry is concerned, this can really help me to take this back to our ministry, and just to expand that area of outreach.
That's right. That's beautiful. That's right. Pastor Rhonda, the saying, I gave you your title. She's my pastor, so I have to say Pastor Rhonda. Tell us, because I know your passion, being a part of your ministry, I know the passion you have for outreach. What was this all about for you, and how did it impact you?
Wow, I think I've been saying since I've been back, I'm still trying to figure out how much it impacted me. I think being there was definitely life-changing from getting off of the plane. But I am still remembering interactions. I'm remembering conversations. I'm remembering things that we experienced. And I really don't feel like I completely grasp yet everything that has transpired from being there. But I think echoing what everyone said, Shema, Ami, and Latrilla, I think mentoring is something that I've been committed to. And so I think being a part of Women Empowered and under Dr. D's leadership, this was another opportunity to be connected to some young adult women and do work that I'm already passionate about. I definitely had on the vision board, Dr. D has had us do so much work. And I had that in my 50s decade. I wanted to make sure I traveled to Africa. But when I signed up for this mentorship program, I didn't know that Africa, this journey to Africa was a part of it, is what I was going to reach at the end of the second year. And so that was just a bonus. But really just coming into a different awareness of what's out there, how much more we need to do. And I think that was my thing when we got there, and definitely when we left, that I just knew I wanted to do more. And this wasn't a bucket list visit. I've been there and that's it. It's what can I do to continue to work with Women in Power, but also stay connected to everything that's happening in Africa.
That's beautiful.
That is amazing. And before we move on to our next question, I want to give a huge shout out to those that have joined us live this
Yes.
evening. Welcome to the show. We are excited to have you. So we're going to roll into a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to show y'all some of these pictures from this trip.
Yay.
And y'all can give us a play-by-play. We'll be right back. And we are back. So, guys, the significance of that commercial that you just saw is this. This is somebody that has actually helped my household financially acquire some very significant cards that came in very important for a recent trip I had to make, to unexpected trip I had to make. Having access to this level of credit and know-how put me in a position that I was able to travel to Colorado and back for less than $200 because of all the points and everything that had been saved on this type of card. So if you're looking for that level of things, definitely check out the private Facebook group. It's free to join. TMC sixfiguregroup.com will take you directly to that group.
Nice. That's good stuff.
All right, you guys. So we have some pictures, do we not?
I believe so. I'm not quite sure what you have because I haven't seen it, but
Wow.
oh.
So tell us a little bit about these little folks over here.
If I remember correctly, this is when we were kind of traveling through. We were all kind of observing what was happening, and so these were school students. The time of day it was like after school, and I don't know if they were waiting for a bus or not, but they were walking along the side, and they were so beautiful to me. So
That's
captured that.
They both look like some side of the road pictures.
Yeah.
Where they have stands, they have their pop-up stands, whatever they sell it out there. Most of those people live along that road. While we're traveling through, you'll see houses and kind of huts and houses made out of the metal, the tin.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what did they construct their homes out there?
You see a lot of them made out of the tin metal. There's some of them. The Maasai tribe, when you go to their area and where the church is, because there's also a house on that property, the church that we partnered with, they have cinder blocks. They actually have full-on cinder blocks. But they're still like opening through the windows, the tin roof, and things like that. So you'll see that a lot. You'll also see other houses, and we're not gonna make it seem like that's all that's there. You'll see regular dwellings, but in these areas where they live more rural, you'll see that type of house. That's interesting. Oh, look at that.
Wow.
That's our friend, the bull. I mean, the buffalo.
The buffalo. Wow. Y'all were on like safaris and all while y'all was in Kenya also. So this is part of that, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, were you this close to this buffalo? That's my first question.
We were zoomed in, but we were in a van. I know we were scaring you.
Yes, we were getting messages regularly like, get out of there.
Wow.
Yes. That's a full-on, a beautiful zebra. We saw so many animals. We saw so much wildlife, not zoo-like. And I say that because we're so used to seeing what we see over here, caged and contained.
Yes.
And I don't want to say prodded, but prodded, to behave a certain way, even though
this is wildlife.
wild.
This is wildlife.
Exactly.
They're in their element, correct? And
and we are in their element.
Y'all are going into their element, correct?
Right.
Yes.
We are we are visiting them.
Wow. No rhino.
Yeah.
Not all rhino.
I know. I'm telling you, right now you're thinking, oh my God, why are you out there? But it is so different to be in the presence of in their presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you think about your safety, but you also think, I'm never going to get an opportunity to do this. So I want to soak it up and see everything. Well, we have quite a few jokes.
Now I heard this. Brandy,
too fast.
Go back to that picture because I heard there's a story behind this picture.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Y'all just started cracking up. Who did it? What happened? We must know. What happened, y'all?
Nice, though.
What was the story?
That was the nice.
I was heard that.
This is a good one.
Now, Rhonda, what was the story behind that picture?
That's my picture. That we were in a circle. We were in a one of the sessions that Dr. D was leading. Powerful session. Dr. D and one of our mentees was leading, and there were some free roaming baboon. And that particular one was a female, and it was almost like she realized this was all ladies in a circle, and she needed to be a part of it. And so she walked around the perimeter and planted herself under that tree. I wish I would have given it to you in context so that you can see how close the tables were. But she came and joined our circle, basically.
Wow.
She did.
And she got there for a little while. Like she took her to. Well, you can see the table.
Yeah, you can see the table.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that because the word was so powerful that that the baboon said, I'm going to be a part of this fellowship.
I think this is where I need to be.
I love it. Free roaming, but y'all hear that? Free roaming baboon.
Wow. Now, just a few minutes prior to that, we tried to start our session, and two other baboons felt like, oh, you left all this stuff for us, we're going to steal it. We had to stop that, and then we had a nice visitor.
Yes.
Amazing. These are definitely life-changing experiences.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. It's really beautiful. Wow.
A family of elephants.
Now, what's the mountains behind that?
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
Kilimanjaro, yes, in the distance.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
No, we were seeing that on our whole journey. Like once we were getting close to this safari, we were seeing that in the distance, and so it was pretty breathtaking.
You actually see the snow,
and that's just that looks like a postcard. It's amazing. Y'all were there. Wow, like y'all are just feet away from these elephants. That's beautiful.
They crossed. We're in the van, and they walked across us. Yeah. Oh, that picture to the left is one. I guess it kind of hits you in your heart and it sometimes makes me a little teary eyed because that's the store that the girls opened, that they researched, that they stocked, our girls, the U.S. mentees, did their work in finding out about sales and products and just marketing and merchandising, and the girls on the other side looked for the property, and they also did their research about product and what they need to this licensing and how much the rent is going to cost and who's going to work in the store. And I got to tell you, when we had our very last meetup, because we met every Saturday, not every Saturday, I'm sorry, the first Saturday of the month, all the mentees and the mentors, and we actually had speakers and facilitators come and feed into us and give us all this wonderful information, encouragement, and prayer. And the last one, they showed a picture of the place, and that was just it for us. We were getting ready to leave, and that was already ready for us to come.
Wow.
And then we went for the opening, and that's what you're looking at, the actual opening.
The grand opening of the store.
Grand opening.
That's amazing. Let me ask you guys a question as we're looking at these pictures. How, like, is this like the opportunity for these young women to open up this store? How is it common for them to be able to do that? Is this just like almost like the first generation of women to do something like this? I mean, tell us a little bit about it, because to me, I'm hearing the impact, but I see you shaking your head. Is this?
Yeah, it is. When you think about, and I'm trying.
Yeah.
When you think about these young ladies being some of the first women in their families, actually, who are at various levels of going to university. And then add into that, these young women researched, found a property, and now they're opening a store. And the whole process that day when we did the groundbreaking, there was this, I still have this image of this little girl she was connected to their church, who handed Dr. D the scissors. And so she maybe looked about 9 or 10. And so this is what she's seeing. This is the future she's seeing. My Kenyan mentee had a baby who's 3 months old. Yeah. And her mom is a part of, like, this is legacy. And so to think about their stories and to think about the sisters and even their elders who are watching them. Yes. You know, they've blazed their own trail, but Dr. D was insistent on reminding them that, you know, our ceiling is their floor. That's right. So for them, you know, and to just think back about, you know, just the day we spent there and the groundbreaking, and just thinking about all the little faces that were watching these young ladies, these young women. So the groundbreaking for me was beyond just that store. Exactly. It's making the ground on a future of possibilities for their daughters, for their sisters, you know, for their grandchildren, for generations to come. Wow. So it was, you know, I'm getting chill. It's amazing to think about the possibilities.
And we take so much of this for granted when we live in you know, we are still one of the richest countries of the world. And we take things like this for granted. And I just really applaud you guys to have gone there and hear what they're saying out there. How many weeks of preparation and mentor-mentee training y'all did for this? This wasn't an overnight thing. Y'all been doing this for, you said 2 years you've been planning this. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
But I think I gotta say it was more. I mean, I know what we were called to do, but I think, and I can say this, and you guys may agree, it was teaching us more than we were teaching them. I mean, it was mind blowing to watch these girls. I mean, from the littlest, not even the littlest things, our U.S. mentees facilitated our sessions. We were the participants.
Right.
You know, they really just took on and ran with it. And the Kenyan mentees, they just amazed us.
Wow.
Yes. I think that's the thing that really stays with me, is the fact that, you know, a lot of times when we see commercials or anything associated with Africa, you know, they make everything seem so, you know, just poverty, so much lack. But when going over there, or even as we took this 2-year journey as it's been now, because it's actually started in 2019. But as we, you know, we're on this journey with them, and just to see their personalities, to see their drive, to see their determination to really to do and to be more. You know, and then to actually get over there and to just really to see them in their element, to see their personalities, and just to see just really their tenacity in really wanting to. It's like, to me, even it's like them living outside of their environment.
Yes.
If it makes sense, really not allowing where they are to limit what their possibilities are.
Exactly.
Wow.
It was just
huge.
And one of the things that really blessed me, oh my gosh, is with my mentee. It's like, again, sometimes that we can feel like we have all the answers, or we're the one with all the wisdom. But I found myself in not just one, but so many moments of just being humbled just by their wisdom. And just the information. I mean, just the impartations that I received. And I know from my own mentee how she just really has inspired me. Just to continue to get back to my journaling, to really just really seek God more than I already was. I mean, it was just, it was life changing. It really was. And I mean, there are just no words to describe it. And the other thing that really sticks out to me is the dreaming under the stars. That was enough that Dr. D, really, that God had given her for us to have dinner outside, under the African skies. And, the young mentees were charged with writing their dream statement, and them just reciting it and basically making a declaration that, yeah, this is my dream. I'm going to work it, and it will be a reality.
Absolutely.
It was just,
wow.
It was a blessing. It really was.
So you guys, we have reached another point that we need to drop a commercial break in here. But when we get back, we're going to have Mimi's segment. Girl Boss Up is coming up next, y'all. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody out there? Girl Bust Up is about an organization that I put together that really, regardless of your title, regardless of what you are called at work, at home, you are in a position to be empowering to women. And tonight is just a perfect night for that. As you see these women, you go forth and you be an influence to the world around you and the people you know. What I wanted to share tonight is one of the things that I believe in, especially this time of year, is doing your vision, your goals, and your passion board. I spent a lot of time, and over the last, I guess I did it over the last couple of weeks, is documenting all of my vision down for the year for 2022. And not just documenting it, but really coming up with my goals. As you see, and I love that, you had the reference from our speakers tonight. They talked about screaming like the girls with the experience under the stars, and them yelling out their dreams. And the purpose of yelling something out or even writing it down is to put in place at that time and make it clear to the atmosphere, to the energies, that this is my goal that I'm looking to accomplish. And then what it does for you is it establishes your steps for the rest of the year. It makes everything you do intentional. So one of the things that I so encourage you to do is to take a moment, get about a good, 2 to 3, even maybe 4 hours, and spend the time writing down your dreams, writing down your goals, writing down your passions, and then come up with some things you want to accomplish in 2022. If you write those things down, I'm telling you, you're going to see yourself at the end of this year saying, oh my God, look what I accomplished. Because the power in writing things down is that you send forth the energy to make it happen. So again, take this time to write your vision down, to write your goals down, and to document your passions. And then let it propel you into 2022. That's my word from Girl Bossed Up. Talk to you soon. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, thanks for telling me I was muted, y'all. Let me talk. Mimi, I'm extremely excited about what you bring to the table, Girl Bossed Up. These leaders, like between all of everything on this screen right now is more powerful than most people know. So just stay plugged in, y'all, because I'm astounded at how you guys have set up these mentees in 2 different countries. And from what I understand, the mentees interact with one another in both countries, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
We did a lot of Zoom. We have actually everybody had like a triad. So there was a mentee and 2 mentees. I mean, a mentor and 2 mentees. They set it up where we could do video chatting, texting, whatever we could do. We use WhatsApp, we use Facebook, a lot of interaction, and think about the difficulty it is on their end, because time difference is 8 hours. That's the minimum.
Wow.
And then just the technology, they don't have the best signals. We did a lot. I think there was my mind is escaping me, but I believe there was a point where we were having a problem connecting with them. And there was a fundraiser that was created or established so that we could get them phones.
Wow.
So that they can have better connection to us.
That's powerful.
I mean, I'm telling you, one of the things that Dr. D said, well, these are now my daughters. And we were just feeling like that day when they were going back to their tribe and we were going to our next adventure for that trip, for that part of the trip, was devastating. You thought that you were ripping families apart because we just didn't want to leave them.
Wow.
They touched us in such a way, and our mentees, I got to go back because the U.S. mentees and then they just bonded so quickly.
The U.S.
mentees just automatically brought them in, made them feel comfortable. Because, we brought that group with us to our hotel and on safari. So they just got to do so many things that they probably didn't see before. And they were welcomed in it and felt like part of the family. It really felt like family.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. And we were just amazed, like Rhonda said, about the camaraderie and how we meshed. Because I got to say, before I went, just during the whole process, when you're asked to do something and in your heart that you want to and that you can, you just don't know how it's going to
come out.
And you have those other insecurities about whether you're doing it well. And these girls really getting what you want them to get out of your mentoring or this program.
Right.
But to see them at that point where that meshing happens and they're ecstatic to see you and you are just over the moon to see them.
Yeah.
And then to see what they're offering and what their drive is and what they're willing to give to achieve.
Yeah.
It was just when I tell you, like Latrilla said, it was just mind blowing. It was mind blowing.
Yes, and even to add to that, even the fact that how it was, I think Dr. D had mentioned that someone had given her the idea of when we go there, whatever clothes that you have to leave them. even the fact that all of the mentors, we all took
Everybody had
suitcases, or we took luggage, and we had, we took clothing. I think, did you all do some personal hygiene items as well,
Yes.
Shema?
Candy, chips, we took everything.
Snacks, everything. And we actually took those suitcases and we left them.
Wow.
It,
Yeah.
I mean, but
It
again,
was, yeah.
it and it's all because of the visionary. I cannot, you know, Dr. Deidre Anderson is such a blessing, and she is such a trailblazer. And that's the other thing that while I was on the trip, it was revealed to me that even as a trailblazer, that I mean, you may get lonely. I mean, it may be hard, but I
Yes.
mean, when it all comes out, I mean, it is just such a blessing. And not only that, but we have to remember that as we because even as mentors, I feel that, as we continue to share and mentor those who are coming behind us, that for us to be mindful, or of even of where we're taking them, or places that we've gone before them, um, not to forget
Mm-hmm.
that as we bring them along sometimes. And I speak for myself, this is what I'm trying to say. That I found that myself, that there were some times on the trip, because I think, I know that Shema, Ami, myself, and Dr. D, we actually went ahead just to kind of pave the way to kind of get some things together. But I found myself that at certain times where I felt like, oh, okay, well, we've been here, we've done that, but
Right.
not to lose the significance or
The moment.
the importance of, okay, you're still bringing these young women behind you. So, basically be in the moment.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
Be in the moment.
The
And-
power of the moment. Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right.
The
Because
power, the significance, because
Yes.
it's those moments that are changing people's lives. I know, Rhonda, tell us about. You mentioned that some of the young ladies, it was their first experience, because one of the beautiful things they did was they allowed the ladies to come to the hotel y'all were in, right? And you mentioned that some ladies had never been in a hotel, or not even experienced being in a pool. They never went to a pool before.
I just think that's the whole experience, from taking them out of their community that they were used to being able to be with us at the different places that we stayed at both hotels, was just a great experience for them and for us. But we definitely heard stories from some of the ladies just about the newness of the experience, and so it blessed us to see. And I think Latrilla hit on it, that sense of wonder. I have a sign up on my wall, like, never lose your sense of wonder. And I
Right.
think that is the way I'm looking right at it, and that is the way I try to approach life. That there is always discovery, there is always wonder in each moment. And so to see that for them, as we were having it, they were having it as well. And so just a blessed opportunity.
Wow.
And we have a question from a member of our audience, Miss Antoinette Marie Williams. She wants to know, how were the Kenyan girls selected?
Good question.
Dr. D created a relationship with a church and a couple and some elders in that Maasai tribe. And you have to know that is powerful in itself, that they trusted her
Yes.
with their children. And not only trusted her to come in and to mentor to them, and of course she's done other conferences with them, but to take them and let them freely go with us, with her, with their blessing and under her protection.
Right.
So the relationship she created with that church, those elders, and of course we had another tremendous help, Mr. Ben Morrow, that facilitated that relationship.
Yes.
And building the trust with them is how they selected the girls. And I'm assuming, and I'm only assuming because I can't remember, but I'm assuming the elders were the ones who decided and age also was a part of that selection process. So
the good things to know, just to shout out, Dr. D is listening. She is out there, our mentee, our coach, our mentor. Thank you for everything. And you can hear and ladies, y'all are listening, Dr. D is going to be our special guest in just a few weeks. So come back. And to that question, she can tell you more of the details of how they even came about, how this vision even came into her house. Because I think the key here is that she's a visionary. Latrilla said it before. This is a woman of vision. And to even see that this was a possibility, I think it was 4 years ago that she spoke to the women of this tribe. 2,000, almost 2,000 women came, walked for miles to listen to her come and speak.
Absolutely.
And it's from them listening to her speaking about 4 years ago that they then said, we got to get this woman back and let her mentor now our daughters, the women of these tribes. So again, this is about vision. This is about purpose. And I can't wait for Dr. D to come on and just tell us a little bit more about that. But we love you, Dr. D. Thank you for this.
We do.
We give you our applause out there because of the visionary you are. So thank you for that. Thank you for that.
It's awesome.
I want to say one thing, and Latrilla said it again, this about the dreaming under the stars and about how Dr. D, Melissa, you were just hinting, Dr. D challenges all of us to dream, but she also pushes us to do the work necessary to see those dreams come to pass. And so that is just what stays with me so much about as we dream, and we can dream big, and there's no boxes, there's no limitations, but there is work required to see those dreams executed. And she's going to challenge us to do the work. My life has definitely changed because of my relationship with her.
She affectionately said, "Go and do the doggone thing."
That's right. Do the doggone thing. Do the doggone thing.
But listen to this, Melissa. I want this because in your segment, what you did with your me moments, and I think about, because I think there was one year that global was Dr. D's vision.
Yes, it was.
And she wrote it down and she confessed that thing. Yes, and I just thought about that when you said that. But
oh my gosh,
going back to what you were saying about the importance of visions and goals and writing them down.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
What's that? We need to throw something.
I know. I know you.
True. I mean, because that's it. I mean, but this is, and I know I can't wait till Dr. D comes on. And this manifestation of what y'all are seeing in these pictures is, I know, and when she comes on, Brandy, we got to ask her this question. When did she write this vision down? Because she wrote this one down.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Just what you said, Latricia. She wrote this one down. So the question is when she wrote it down, how did it manifest into in her being asked to come to Africa to talk? Then after speaking in Africa,
come on now,
influence, come on now, and then them saying, "Will you come here?" I would love to know when she wrote that vision down that God started making it happen.
Yes,
right. Even in the delay, right? Because when the delay happened, there was disappointment, but there was divinity in the delay. Because had we gone. I think had we gone earlier, the store wouldn't have been there.
Right.
We wouldn't have seen the personalities of these young ladies.
That's right.
So there is divineness all through this.
Absolutely.
And that delay was intentional. I think for me, even with COVID, it forced us out of our church walls and to go out into the world with it.
I was throw something at you. I'm throwing it down.
You can't tell me that God isn't real.
Come on now.
Right. Well, who's to say the delay wasn't so that you guys would get to know each other even better and develop that trust, so that when y'all did go out there, the everybody's hearts and minds were truly open to the experience and the work to be done.
That's right. That's right.
And I mean, even with you saying that just brings me back to a moment where even just with us mentors, I think it was me, Shema, Rhonda, and then we had someone else in the band, Marlene and Delvia. We were all in one van, but
and Kayla.
Yes, Kayla. But the fact of how we, even in that moment, in those moments, how we even our relationships, they went deeper.
Mm.
And even as me, being a new entrepreneur, and how my sisters, they really push me, get that logo out, you need to work on it, stop stalling. I mean, just the those moments of really being encouraged, it was
It
just
was a bonding experience on all ends. Like
yes.
I was saying to Melissa earlier today, just listening to all of you and how you move while we were on this trip. I know how you move when we're here, but while we were on the trip, one of the specific ones that I think about is going up that mountain and not knowing that Marlene had an aversion to heights.
Yes.
But just to hear you cheer her on and tell her you got this, and look how many steps you took, and we're almost at the top. I wasn't afraid, but the cheering was like, yes, Shema, you can do this. We almost at the top. We only got a few more steps. It was just, and then just discussing, like you said, your business, and Rhonda talking about the 50 over 50 pictures, and then Marlene just praying, and Delvia singing praises. We had wonderful laughter.
Yes.
We had so much good fellowship on this trip. It was just oozing out. It was amazing.
It really was.
It's the essence of, and let me say this, Brandy, these women are also authors. And the name of the title, the lead title of their book is Women Empowering Women. This is the essence of that. And it shows you that it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter who you was born to. It doesn't matter what country you live in. It doesn't matter what nothing. The heart of a woman can empower another woman to do what the call of her life is. That's the power we're talking about today.
Yes.
Is that power of women empowering women is real. Don't listen to the fake news out there that we don't do.
Right.
That we can't help each other.
Right.
This is what you see. This is an example of women empowering women to become not just legacy bearers, but generation. They're taking this into new generations. Yes. I'm telling you, this is powerful. Y'all are just doing it.
Like somebody said about this is when Dr. D said this is our ceiling is there.
Ami said it. And
then under the stars that day, she said that they're standing on our shoulders, and she gave them the charge because now they have to get somebody to stand on their shoulders.
That's right.
Girl. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Well, my controversial self.
Huh?
What was the energy like being around all that melanin?
We better go ahead. What's the name?
We have a lot of selfies.
What's Brandy's nickname?
Sour Patch?
Sour Patch. Go ahead and say that Sour Patch. But that also must have been powerful also.
Yes.
Just being, and people talk about that often, going back to Africa is such a experience. Ron, I see you shaking your head. What did that mean? Was there something that was different about this trip because of that?
I definitely think it was. I think something. I'm always listening. I'm listening to conversations. I'm listening to what's being said, what's not being said. But before we took the trip, we were told that we were going to be greeted, and y'all help me. I don't want to mispronounce. Help me, Ami. Karibu?
Karibu. Yes.
Which means welcome. But for me, we were told that we were going to be greeted with that at the airport and I think so. Before we got there, I had this anticipation, but that word has a new meaning to me because it wasn't. They only said welcome, but what I was hearing was welcome home, welcome to where you belong. And so for me, again, because my mind keeps going, it was like I found myself saying that even being back. So as we're dared to dream, and so I'm like, welcome to the life you've been waiting to live. Welcome to your dreams. Welcome to your future. Welcome to, your destiny being. So I just keep repeating that Karibu and hearing it in a much broader sense But yeah, definitely feeling like they're not just welcoming me here as a visitor. The welcome was a lot deeper than that for me. And I said I was going to get off this call without crying, so I'm going to stop. But it was definitely deeper.
Girl, it absolutely was.
I mean, the bar to start January like that, like this is a next January has to live up to it. Like the standard has been raised.
Right.
Like,
we celebrate New Year's Eve. We all hopping a plane.
Yeah.
Off on a high. We gotta really
I did that the other day. I was talking to somebody and they're like, "Oh, what'd you do for New Year's?" Last week, Saturday, I was volunteering. And I said, "Oh, I went out of town." And my sister who was with me said, she was in Kenya for 10 days. The lady looked at me and said, "You went out of town."
Right.
On a whole other continent.
It is our town. And
that's second home. So what you talking about? I went out of town.
Went home. But that, I mean, say the word again. Karibu.
Yes.
And that hit my soul right there. Because you said welcome home. Yeah. Welcome to new beginnings.
Yeah, it just means welcome, but that's how I heard it.
No, but you know, because the word, when
it has impact,
and y'all are women of faith. When you get that word, there is the manifestation. That word is not just welcome. I heard welcome home, welcome to new beginnings, welcome to your new experience, welcome to your new dreams, welcome to new destinies, welcome to new generations, welcome to new. Oh my God!
And then the response. The response you got from them when we said the one Asante, because that's just like thank you or I think it's thank you, right? Or is it?
Thank you.
Yeah.
They were excited that we were saying it, even if we said it wrong. They were excited to hear it from us. So when when you would see them, like excited to see us, excited to welcome us, and then excited to hear us respond, it made you want to keep saying it. So we were saying it everywhere, even if it wasn't warranted. We tried to get the difference between welcome and blessing, but it was just the dialogue and the welcome of the dialogue. Being able to connect with them, even if they could speak English, because a lot of them do. But just the fact that we took the time to learn, respect, and to respect that knowledge, their language.
But guys, we've actually reached the end of our show.
Oh yes.
So before we head out, we want to welcome you guys to join us again next week. We're going to have a great topic next week about what the current school situation is like for teachers and educators and those within the education system. So definitely tune in for that next week. And before we head out, we'd just like to thank you for sharing some time with us. Thank you, ladies, for joining us tonight. We are so honored and privileged to have you not only on here, but share such a powerful experience with us. So thank you guys so much.
Love you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Amazing show. Amazing.
All right, you guys.
You're amazing women. Thank you so much.
Until next week.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.